The sinking of the Titanic in 1912 remains one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. Images of the opulent liner sinking beneath the waves, claiming over 1,500 lives, are forever etched in our collective memory. However, as tragic as the Titanic was, it was not the deadliest shipwreck in history. In fact, numerous other maritime disasters have resulted in far greater loss of life, often overshadowed by the Titanic's notoriety. These lesser-known tragedies serve as stark reminders of the immense power of the sea and the importance of maritime safety. These forgotten disasters often involve circumstances far more harrowing than those aboard the Titanic. From collisions and fires to natural disasters and human error, the causes of these tragedies are as varied as they are devastating. While the Titanic's sinking shocked the world, prompting significant changes in maritime regulations, these other shipwrecks, despite their scale, often failed to garner the same level of attention or reform. This essay will delve into the depths of 3 such shipwrecks, each claiming thousands of lives and leaving behind legacies of loss and sorrow. By exploring the circumstances surrounding these tragedies, we gain a deeper understanding of the human cost of maritime disasters and the importance of remembering those lost at sea. The ocean, for all its beauty and vastness, can be a cruel and unforgiving mistress. Ships have braved its depths, carrying hopes, dreams, and often the weight of human cargo. But the sea is indifferent to human ambition, claiming lives on a scale that defies comprehension. The Titanic's sinking shocked the world, but it was not an isolated incident. Numerous shipwrecks have unfolded, each with its own harrowing tale of loss and survival. These disasters serve as grim reminders of the dangers of sea travel. From the North Atlantic to the Pacific, shipwrecks have claimed countless lives. Some tragedies are due to nature's fury, others to human error or negligence. On December 20th, 1987, a tragedy unfolded in the Tabla Strait of the Philippines, claiming the lives of an estimated 4,386 people. The MV Dona Paz, a passenger ferry, collided with the oil tanker MT Vector, resulting in a massive fire that engulfed both vessels. The Dona Paz, overcrowded and reportedly carrying many more passengers than its official capacity, quickly became an inferno. The collision occurred at night, adding to the chaos and hindering rescue efforts. The flames from the burning oil spread rapidly, engulfing the Dona Paz and trapping many passengers below deck. The lack of life jackets and the overcrowded conditions exacerbated the disaster, making escape nearly impossible for many. Survivors recounted horrifying tales of jumping overboard into the burning sea, clinging to debris and witnessing the agonizing deaths of loved ones. The fire burned for hours, consuming both vessels and leaving behind a trail of devastation. The official death toll stands at 4,386, making the Dona Paz sinking the deadliest peacetime maritime disaster in history. The tragedy highlighted the lax safety standards and inadequate regulations that plagued the Philippine ferry system at the time. The Dona Paz disaster, though largely unknown outside of the Philippines, stands as a grim reminder of the importance of maritime safety and the devastating consequences that can result from negligence and complacency. On September 26, 2002, the MV Le Joula, a Senegalese government-owned ferry, capsized off the coast of Gambia, claiming the lives of at least 1,863 people. The ferry, traveling from Ziguinchor in the Casamance region to the capital Dakar, was woefully overcrowded, carrying an estimated 2,000 passengers, more than twice its designed capacity. The disaster occurred when the ferry encountered a sudden and violent storm. The combination of overcrowding, poor weather conditions, and the vessel's top-heavy design proved fatal. As the ferry navigated the rough seas, it listed sharply to one side, causing panic among the passengers. Within minutes, the Le Joula capsized, trapping many passengers below deck. The delayed rescue efforts and the remoteness of the location further compounded the tragedy. Many survivors clung to the hull of the capsized ferry for hours, exposed to the elements and the threat of hypothermia. The Le Joula disaster sent shockwaves throughout Senegal and beyond, highlighting the dangers of overcrowding, lax safety regulations, and the importance of timely rescue operations. The tragedy exposed the shortcomings of the Senegalese maritime industry and led to widespread criticism of the government's handling of the disaster. The La Jula sinking remains one of Africa's worst maritime disasters, a stark reminder of the need for stringent safety measures and accountability in sea transportation. Section 5. The Toyomaru Typhoon Terror in Japan. On September 26, 1954, a powerful typhoon engulfed the Tsugaru Strait, claiming over 1,000 lives aboard the ferry Toyomaru. The Toyomaru, sailing from Hakodate to Aomori, was caught in Typhoon Marie, one of Japan's deadliest typhoons. The ferry, designed for coastal voyages, was ill-equipped for the massive waves and hurricane-force winds. The storm crippled its radio communications, and the vessel eventually capsized and sank. Rescue efforts were hindered, leaving only a handful of survivors. The tragedy led to significant improvements in maritime safety regulations in Japan. Section 6. The weight of numbers comparing casualties. These are just 3 examples. Many more shipwrecks, each with their own tragic stories, dot the timeline of maritime history. The SS Qiangya, a Chinese steamship that sank in 1948, is estimated to have claimed between 2,750 and 3,920 lives. In 1987, the ferry MV Doa Paz collided with an oil tanker in the Philippines, killing an estimated 4,386 people. These lesser-known tragedies rival and even surpass the Titanic in terms of human loss. The Titanic, with its estimated 1,517 casualties, pales in comparison to these staggering numbers. This is not to diminish the tragedy of the Titanic, but rather to emphasize the scope of loss in other maritime disasters. The sheer magnitude of these tragedies underscores the importance of remembering and learning from them, even as they fade from popular memory. Section 7. Beyond the headlines, the lasting impact of maritime disasters. The impact of these shipwrecks extends far beyond the initial loss of life. The sinking of a vessel, particularly one carrying a significant number of passengers, can devastate families and communities. The emotional toll on survivors, families of victims, and rescue workers can be immeasurable. The economic impact of losing a vessel, especially one involved in trade or transportation, can be significant. The loss of the ship itself, its cargo, and the disruption to trade routes can have ripple effects throughout industries and economies. In the aftermath of these tragedies, investigations often reveal systemic failures in safety regulations, vessel design, or emergency response procedures. The lessons learned from these disasters often lead to improvements in maritime safety standards, but the cost of these lessons is paid in human lives. Section 8. Remembering the lost, honoring the victims, and learning from tragedy. While the Titanic continues to capture our collective imagination, it is crucial to remember the countless other souls lost at sea. The lesser-known shipwrecks, often involving larger death tolls and equally harrowing circumstances, deserve a place in our memories and our history books. Remembering these tragedies means more than just acknowledging the numbers. It means recognizing the individual lives lost, the families torn apart, and the communities forever scarred by the tragedy. It also means learning from these disasters. By studying the causes, circumstances, and aftermath of these shipwrecks, we can strive to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Improved safety regulations, vessel design, crew training, and emergency response procedures are all crucial steps in making sea travel safer. Section 9. Conclusion: a legacy of loss, a call for safety. The sea, for all its beauty and allure, holds within it the potential for great tragedy. The shipwrecks discussed in this essay, though less renowned than the Titanic, stand as stark reminders of the fragility of human life at sea. The sheer scale of loss in these disasters should serve as a wake-up call, a reminder that the pursuit of maritime progress must never come at the expense of safety. As we navigate the future of sea travel and exploration, we must carry with us the lessons learned from these tragedies. By remembering the lost, honoring their memory, and striving for ever higher safety standards, we can help ensure that the sea, while never entirely free from risk, becomes a safer passage for all who journey upon it.